Someone left a comment on the video I did about not doing a parasite cleanse of fulvic acid, and that's the only thing they put, and they linked it so you could go look at what fulvic acid is. Fulvic acid is a naturally occurring thing in the soil, and it acts or can act as a binder. But when we have situations that are so toxic that we need a lot of help getting through them, fulvic acid will never be enough. It will never be enough. And if you even do a simple Google search, because I Googled just to see what comes up, it says that it's often used in combination with 3 other binders in the case of a lot of toxicity. 3 other binders. So I'm going to go a little bit further into why you shouldn't do a parasite cleanse if you live in a toxic environment. Did you know that after the radiation nuclear spill in Japan during that earthquake that happened about a decade ago, the first thing to grow back in the soil was fungi and parasites? And when they tested the fungi and the parasites, the ground was becoming less toxic, but the fungi and the parasites were becoming more and more toxic. So they were absorbing the toxins out of the soil so that the soil could be clean again. That was what they were doing. So we see this a lot where people are like, oh, well, the C word, that's also an astrological sign, is parasites. What if it's not? What if it's a mutated DNA cell because you were too toxic and the parasites are there to clean up the damage that's being done in the system ever since? What if? So it took about 3 years for the fungi and the parasites to clean up all of that nuclear radiation that was in the soil in Japan. 3 years before they stopped testing as toxic. Can you imagine if they had just kept tilling all of those fungi and all of those parasites back into that soil, what would happen? When you have a super toxic system and you've got mold, radiation, heavy metals, glyphosate, and you do a parasite cleanse, you're tilling all of that back into the soil of your body. And you cannot get rid of it fast enough with fulvic acid. You can't. So you need to address those things first as a first line. First thing you have to do is be able to have bowel movement twice a day. First thing. And then you need to start cleaning out things systematically before you do a parasite cleanse. And this is really super important because I have watched more than one person land themselves in the hospital and one person trying to do a parasite cleanse. And they kept going after these parasites, kept going after these parasites, kept going after these parasites, and all of a sudden, and the COD on the certificate, unknown cause. Unknown cause. Healthy 24-year-old female, healthy 38-year-old female, healthy 41-year-old female. All of them, unknown cause. But if you go back and you look through their Facebook posts, they had been on a parasite detox for 2 years and couldn't get rid of them. Please don't just willy-nilly do a parasite cleanse. I know there's a lot of people on here that talk about them. Please clean up the rest of the terrain first, and then maybe do a parasite cleanse. You may not need to at that point, but there's questionnaires that you can answer that will tell you whether or not you might need that at that point. A parasite cleanse is not for everyone. It's not. And even my sister went through chemotherapy. She inherited a dog from a friend who had parasites, actively had parasites. We went through opening up her detox pathways and making sure she could have a bowel movement twice a day. We went through a heavy metal detox, we went through a radiation detox, and we went through a full liver detox before we ever touched parasites. Ever. Because the health of the client is the most important thing. And knowing the proper steps to go through could literally save the life of a client. Stop just doing parasite cleanses. Clean up the other things that are there that the parasites are feeding off of, or you will continue to have parasites.